Good morning, everyone. It's me, Gregory Mannarino. It is Thursday, June 8th, 2023. People, let's start off with this on my lovely pre-market report here. For my Eurozone friends, I'm laughing, but I shouldn't be laughing. It's a terrible thing. I'm going to relay to you what you already know. Apparently, the Eurozone itself has now fallen into recession. But here in the United States, we're recession-proof. Oh, how do we know that's true? Well, that's what we keep hearing from our politicians, from central bankers. No recession here in the United States because we're just so great and so strong. Meanwhile, we just got first-time unemployment claims for last week. We just jumped to a 2-year high. Really? Who's surprised about this? No, what's going on? Central banks, Federal Reserve, European Central Bank are deliberately and on purpose, in case you don't understand what's going on here, killing the economy by crushing the consumer. This is a worldwide phenomenon, people. Get used to it. But where's the revolt? Where's the revolution? I don't know. I don't see it here in the United States. I hear it is going on in other parts of the world, but definitely not here, where people in the United States will fall into line and march right to the slaughter with a smile on their face, which you won't be able to see it because they're going to be wearing a face diaper. Oh, yes, that's what it's all about, isn't it? Oh, yes, absolutely. So that's the story here. There's a few things going on, but I mean, look, I'm laughing again, but it's pathetic here. We have the propaganda ministry all around the world that's been trying to convince we, the people of the world, that we're not going into recession, that inflation is temporary, everything is just fine and dandy and beautiful and lovely and we're all rich. Meanwhile, we just got this another lovely piece of information here this morning on, I guess, on the economic front. So credit card debt again hits a new all-time record. Meanwhile, people, debt defaults, including credit card debt, across the board, are skyrocketing at its fastest pace ever. More so than even the Great Recession. The Great Recession! You remember that? Oh, but we're not going into a recession, but the Eurozone is officially in a recession, but you see, the United States, we're immune because we're just fantastic. We have the most fantastical, I was just going to say the worst word, lovely person sitting behind the resolute desk is going to tell you how great his economic policies are because people are earning more money, but you see the rate of inflation keeps outpacing anything that people are making. They're getting robbed blind. But that's what's going on here. Again, where's the revolt? Where's the people taking to the streets? Oh, they're nowhere. Imagine my shock. That's the truth here, people. Now, I want you to listen to this. And I don't want to hear... I'm laughing. I can't help myself sometimes. What do you think about this? Are you ready? We all know and love Jamie Dimon, don't we? You know, the CEO of the Wall Street Superbank, J.P. Morgan. Well, this multi-billionaire, he wants to abolish the debt ceiling. Now, I understand there's multiple issues with the debt ceiling. He wants to get rid of it. Now, here's my perspective. I would never expect the CEO of any bank to want to limit spending, to limit borrowing. That's all they're all about. Again, Jamie Dimon here, whatever, Demon, the CEO of that bank over there, JP Morgan, they couldn't be more happy to lend more cash. You see, they have it all. They also have over $50 trillion worth. Yeah, you heard that right. Trillion with the T. Dollars worth of derivative exposure. So they're just doing fantastic as well. Yeah. You know, if you were to take, let's say, a super bank like JP Morgan, the largest bank on the planet by assets, and you were to weigh that against their derivative exposure, well, it's just vastly negative. But I think we all know that too. But that's the story. Now, with regard to this debt market issue that we've been seeing a lot lately, look, this is a time bomb. You all know that. It's ticking louder. It's ticking faster. The 10-year yield this morning is stable from yesterday. The relative strength of the dollar did come down. The MMRI, last time I looked at it, is sitting at 243, which puts us 7 points away from that first line of the sand, 250. Watch the MMRI. It's free to you. It's free to everyone. Link in the description of this video. We are This could hit 250 today. Honestly, on the back of this, stock futures this morning are flat. There's nothing really going on here. Stocks did fall under a little pressure yesterday. With regard to cryptocurrencies this morning, they are catching a bid. Not much, but catching a bid nonetheless. Gold and silver doing pretty good this morning, getting bid higher. Crude oil getting bid higher. And as I mentioned, the relative strength of the dollar getting hit pretty hard this morning here. Look, there's a lot of speculation as to what the Fed's going to do at this next meeting. Next week, as a matter of fact. And we'll talk about that. But in my opinion, and I want to hear from you on this one too. So I want to hear from you about Jamie Dimon. Are you surprised that a Wall Street superbank CEO wants to continue to borrow and spend into oblivion? I don't think so. Now, with regard to the Federal Reserve, and I want to hear your opinion because, look, I'm just Greg Nobody here. But my take has been that the Fed is going to do nothing. They're gonna stand pat here, and they're gonna take a pause. But I want to hear your take on it. Do you believe the Fed is gonna hike next week, or is the Fed going to pause next week? Again, none of this, people, at all, ever had anything to do with controlling inflation. Inflation continues to surge out of control. What did we find out yesterday from the World Bank? The World Bank cited persistent rising global inflation as one of the reasons why they have again downgraded the global economy. An expanding war, the fact that the consumer is getting crushed. But again, there's no outrage. There's no nothing. People sit back and they take it across the face repeatedly. Thank you. May I have another? Bam. Thank you. May I have another? Bam. The repeated lies, the distractions, the propaganda, the deceptions, the look here's, don't look over there. I mean, it's amazing. But there's no accountability anymore. Why do you think we have no representation here in the United States or anywhere around the world? Because the people do not hold our so-called big, lofty representatives accountable at all anymore. We just let them do whatever they want to do, and we just deal with it. It's an incredible thing, but that's a fact. Anyway, look, we have multiple issues at multiple levels. I'm just looking at stuff I was writing down here. But look, we're prepared for anything, and you all know that. I feel literally, I would say 100% confident that those of you that follow this blog know what you're doing. You know why you're doing it. You understand you have to bet against the debt, become your own central bank. I don't know how many people out here noticed. There's an interesting phenomenon going on, and it's not just on my blog here, but I've heard from a lot of friends of mine, people who are also bloggers. There's a lot of anti-gold, anti-silver posts as of late. Meanwhile, what did we find out recently? Central banks are acquiring gold at their fastest pace ever, but they don't want you to hold it. You see, that should tell you something. Honestly, whenever I hear stuff like that, it makes me wonder what's actually going on. I think these are probably bots or some kind of counterintelligence kind of a program here. I can't imagine, and again, I want to hear from you on this, a better place to be than in physical assets, commodities, especially silver here. You know my take on this, people. Commodities are the place to be moving forward. I can't stress this enough, especially ones you can literally hold in your hands here. These things are anti-debt units. They are units of wealth. And in my perspective, and I'm assuming yours, it's the best way to hedge yourself against what's coming. There's no way to stop this, okay? An implosion in the debt market is going to happen. Maybe we're on the edge of it right now. We're seeing some crazy action here in the debt market, not just here in the United States. Global bonds have been in some kind of a gyrating kind of freaking thing going on here. And that's clearly a sign to me that debt market instability is kind of really in our freaking face. But what are central banks going to do? Again, are they going to allow this whole thing to implode right now in a presidential cycle here in the United States? Look, this is a huge, in case you don't know this, and maybe you don't want to hear it, It makes me want to vomit just to think about it. Not that it matters anyway, but there is a huge campaign going on to reelect the current mummified, brain-dead president who sits behind the Resolute desk. Doesn't matter who they put there, in my opinion. You know that. But again, with these people in charge here spending, and people like Jamie Dimon here who want to continue to spend and borrow into oblivion, well, you can understand what that's going to do. Who's going to pay the price for it? You are. You are. You're paying for it right now. Inflation tax, shrinkflation. They're trying to tell you how everything is getting better for you. No, I don't think it is. I don't think it is at all. In fact, I'd be willing to bet that most of you believe that things are all worse now than they were just a few years ago, and they're getting a lot worse, and we have nowhere to go but worse from here. But again, I want to hear your take on it, just not mine. All right, people, look, so that's the situation. We covered a lot this morning. Keep your eyes on that 10-year yield. Keep your eyes on the dollar relative strength. Better yet, the MMRI. Again, free to everyone. Link in the description of this video. And I am so happy, again, one more time, I'm going to say this, more of you taking advantage of the chat room on my website, traderschoice.net. I pay for those spots. Everyone that has a spot in that chat room, well, they should be thankful because I pay to open up those spots there for everybody. All right, anyway. Love you a lot. I mean this from the heart, people. We're a family. We are a team. Please, if you think this video has been interesting in any way, those thumbs up are valuable. Please share this on your social networks. Get it out there, okay? I count on all of you. And I will see you later, 1:05 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Even if it's nighttime, it's still daylight time, I guess. I don't know. I'll see you later, 1:05 p.m. Pacific Time for my live stream. Please have questions for me, all right? I'll see you later.